All right, welcome back. Episode 2 of the Gecko Exchange podcast. It's me and my boy Ant right here.
Welcome,
So,
welcome, welcome.
hey man, so how you doing?
I'm doing, man. So
Yeah.
tell me what we're gonna
What?
talk about today. What do you got on deck for today?
Like I said, we're gonna talk about like maybe some upcoming projects, something, or just things you want to try to get into that you don't already have that's just piquing your interest. Like that.
Hmm.
We'll talk about what's going on in this hobby, like all these people selling off their collections and shit like that.
Oof.
At the end, we'll talk about like what our main objectives for this podcast. So I
All
know we
right.
went over it a little bit first episode, but we'll go talk about it a little bit more in depth. As for me, upcoming projects, so right now I'm working on that hot pink red chewies. That's one thing I got going on right now. Like so, I told you like right after the podcast, they dropped eggs. So hopefully I see some of those in like between like 70 to 90 days. Because my last Chihuahuas, my last one I think they hatched in like 72 days.
And they take that long to have, huh?
Well, no, well, depends. If you don't put them in the incubator, they take longer. Like they take, man, people are like, oh, it takes like 100, 120 days. I'm like, nah, fuck that. I was like, homeboy, what's his name? Mike from Chihuahua Channel. He always says if it goes past 90, there's something gonna be wrong. So I keep mine in the incubator. It stays around 80, between 80 and 82. It fluctuates a little bit, but and they pop out generally right between like 70 to 90 days.
That's interesting. Do you know that the egg is it a thing with geckos? Do all geckos only lay clutches of two eggs, or is there any species of geckos that lay more than two eggs?
No, I think they all drop 2 eggs. I don't even know if there's any that drop live bearing ones. I don't think there is.
Yeah,
That'd be fucking cool though.
the rough
I didn't
snouted.
know there is. Yeah, the tracky,
They have
yeah,
live
other one from look kind of who was a trappy whatever. Yeah, those rough snouted geckos.
podcast too, right? Is that there's so many species and so many things that we don't know ourselves, and so many people get caught up in the popular species, your leopard geckos, your crested
Hmm.
geckos, leeches. There's so many species out there and so much to talk about that the same old topics are just beat. You know, talk about crested geckos till we're blue in the face, man, but
Yeah,
it boils down to opinions, whose
yeah,
opinion is what, we want to try to learn
yeah,
something, facts. Let's discover new species, bring some new species to the hobby.
yeah.
There's questions I got for breeders out there, man. If again anyone's out there breeding anything rare, real exotic, something that we don't know a damn thing about, please come teach everybody. Come teach everybody that's willing to learn about what you got going on.
Yeah. Yeah. Because I think I'm gonna start. Probably after this season's up, I'm gonna start looking into like certain geckos. Have
Oh,
you ever
yo.
seen any of those? Like they're from they're from Asia and stuff. They got these giant ones. They're Cerdodactylus irigensis. They come like bent toe geckos, night stalker geckos. Things
I
get
heard.
really big. Like they got really sharp claws, big mouths. They're like semi-arboreal. Cause they don't have like the toe pads where they can stick to the wall and shit. So they use their claws to climb on the uh, on the wood. They look real interesting to me. I'm like, I don't understand why people don't like them. Like,
Yeah,
I don't know if it's no people like I want to hold everything. I'm like, I don't need to hold stuff. All right, I just don't. That's not me. Like I admire them from afar. I let them do what they do. When I pick them up, it's because I'm looking to make sure everything's all right. That's really it. I don't have to hold my stuff. That's
that's all.
never been.
Look at dart frogs. Dart frogs are one of the
Yeah.
biggest genres of reptile keeping, right? Like, if you will, for lack of a better word, but them guys are die-hard keepers, man. Die-hard enthusiasts. They're not out
Yep.
there holding dart frogs. It's all about the enclosure, right? It's all about the
Mhm.
overall visual experience that you get from looking at these things in their environment. I mean, and that's
Yeah.
respectable, man. I mean, how do you not? I mean, I think it's a we're missing out on a lot by not taking, keeping, and broaden our horizon to these other species because you can't handle.
Hmm.
No, I
Yeah.
mean, everyone sits here and watches Shark Week, right? Damn sure not holding them. I mean, it's interesting stuff, man. And to be able to, see, when I got into snakes as a kid, man, and reptiles in general, there wasn't no internet, there wasn't anything really other than books you would find in the library. Maybe you could go and drive to your local vet, and maybe the vet would have some books in his little library and would print some stuff out for you and give it to you. But the whole goal and interest back then was taking something and creating its natural environment in your house. You wanted to make a
Yeah.
little piece of desert, a little piece of rainforest, a little piece of the jungle, and you wanted to take a little bit of all of that and put it in a little space so you could, in theory, look in there and feel like you're there, right? I mean, fish
Hmm.
guys, they set up little coral reefs in their house. I mean, I'd like to believe that a huge part of it is in the back of our heads we could just imagine being there. So I feel like
Hmm.
not keeping certain species because they're not handleable is just a it's just one of them weird things, man. I mean, if you look at species in general, it's like high school, middle school, right? Like everything's a popularity contest. Like, oh, this dude's cool, this guy got this, let me get this. And then it's just like
Yeah.
then you wind up with hobbies that are just so saturated that they become stale. Look at the
Hmm.
pythons. Look at, and I keep crested geckos. Look at crested geckos. Look at the red ear slider phase that everybody and their mother had. I mean, bearded dragons. I mean, there's so many things that people got into because so and so and so and so had them.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
they and then everybody just turns a blind eye to everything else that's out there. It's
Yeah.
we're
That's
selling our
crazy. I said I went to Tennessee, right, and I was talking to a lot of the ball python breeders. They hate that shit. They literally like. There's some dudes like I fucking hate these fucking snakes, but they make me money. Like I had a conversation with this one guy. I forgot his name, but he was like, "Yeah, I have more passion for these sand boas than I do for my ball python. Like, there's so much more." I was like, "Damn, but they live in the sand." He's like, "Yeah, but they're just so much more interesting. They look different. They just act different. They're live bearers instead of getting eggs. You know, that's why for me, I just go a different lane. I don't try to stick to that middle lane where everybody else is. Let me go over here." That speaking of that, you know, trying to figure out their whole posture, replicating the wild. I'm actually working on. Well, I'm working on getting my passport right now, but I'm working on trying to go to South America because I want to
okay.
go. I want to go find. So I really want to try to figure out some stuff with that. Cause I live in Arizona, so do I have to have my AC at like 70 degrees during summertime or what? Like
Mm,
how do I keep it to where I can keep them successfully? You know,
hey,
so that's what I'm working on.
that's a beautiful thing, man, to do field
Yeah.
work. Everybody could read a book. And I mean, that's why so many guys with these New Caledonian geckos have so much respect for like, all them guys that actually went over there and did all
Yeah.
this work. Is they've been there. They've been there. They
Mhm.
have they had the feet on the ground. You can't
Yeah.
you can't uh you can't compete with that unless you were there.
No.
People write books or give their opinions or tell people everything and have not been there. I was watching a Dave Kaufman video one time. Everybody will tell you, don't keep your crested geckos above 70 something degrees. They'll die. Don't do this. Don't do that. I've watched like 3 or 4 people all go to New Caledonia, and all of them that have been in New Caledonia have never been there where the temperature has been under 90 degrees. Like all 90 degrees. But tell somebody in a Facebook group that 80 degrees is okay, and shit,
They
you
lose
you
their shit.
you're blacklisted. You're done. You're done for. Stick a
Yeah.
fork in.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know.
They lose their shit when you tell them some stuff like that. It's like,
Uh,
yeah, you don't want your gecko to grow. Yeah, keep it around 70 some. Like, that heat when they're a little baby helps that metabolism, helps them kickstart that stuff.
I gauge a whole room I mean, people are going to say what the hell they want, but this room is above 80 degrees at all times, 83 degrees. These
Yeah,
geckos, and I don't breed them, but I could have them I have these dudes at breeding weight by year old. By year old, these things are 40 grams, fully developed, and I don't do anything but keep it warm. Give them the option between mix and bugs 3 times a week,
yeah,
and they grow. And they grow. You know, all this he said she said stuff. I mean, it is it's kind of sad. It's sad for the animals because people, at least I'd rather see somebody fail, you know, and say, "Oh, this doesn't work," because they tried it, than never try
mhm,
something because someone told them not to. You know, and I don't mean
yeah.
fail killing your animal. I mean you should
Like it's
get
not thriving. You
for
seeing it a little lethargic or something like that. You're like, all right, let's kind of change this up because this ain't working.
planes before you lose a gecko. You know, I got close to 200 of them. I'm in these things business like they were teenagers, man. Like I'm in their business. You can't get away from me. I know which one to
Mhm.
dump when. I know who's eating what, who don't like what flavors. I mean, and I hold them right out of the hatch box. I take them out of the hatch box in my hand. I put them in their first shed box until they shed, until I can confirm they've eaten their first shed. And then I move them into a different container. I mean, these things are in my hand at all phases of their lives, right? I have one gecko missing his tail. And that son of a bitch ran for me in the laundry room, jumped behind the washing machine and the dryer, ran between two cabinets, and I tried to fish him out with a stick. I got him out. He was in my hand. Boom! Drops his tail, just sitting
Yeah.
there. Had nothing to do with nothing. He just wound up being a spaz for nothing.
Yeah.
To go back to the whole listening to the he said she said crap, man. It's kind of, again, it's sad because people will tell you don't hold your gecko to the 10 grams. Don't. It's I understand that it's an ambiguous topic, right? Like you can argue back and forth the good and the bad, and there's always a general rule of thumb. But to say that any one way is right is really wrong. It's really wrong to
Yeah.
say that is right. You know, everyone's situation is different. Everyone's
Mhm.
personality, I guess, is different. Not everyone handles a gecko the same way. Not everyone's gonna open a bin up or a cage up the same way. I mean, not everyone's lighting is the same. I mean, there's so many different variables. No one person should be telling anybody anything. You know, I mean a one of the things like I was saying that I think is an issue with the community. You know, is it's you got like 300,000 people listening to 5 people. You know, and none of them 5 people even get along. You know, none of them 5 people can even agree on. Yeah, all got the right answer.
Yeah.
It's such a big hobby. It's such a there's just so many, again, not to repeat myself, but so many variables that nobody should be arguing about nothing. Nobody should be arguing. People should be sitting together and talking about what they do, what works for them, how they're doing this, how that one's doing that. I
Yeah.
mean, let alone about
They-
these two
yeah.
species. With all these species out there, no one should be bottlenecking anywhere, man. There's so much to work, so much to learn and explore that it's almost sad to see what's going on in the community, you know, in the hobby. It sucks, you know. And then, like you were saying, you see the people selling off their collections. Yeah, another ambiguous thing. I mean, you could argue it's good, you could argue it's bad, right? But truth be told, if you're selling off your stuff, probably should have been in to begin with, you know. So I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah. I mean, like I said, most of these people came in during what 2019, 2020,
I'm not even.
and
That's so wrong. I don't care if you came in. The reason, the
yeah,
intent is what's killing me, right? Because
yeah.
a
The
meteor,
intent was I'm gonna make money.
I'm boxing my geckos up. My geckos are
Yeah.
going. There's an apocalypse tomorrow. My geckos are coming in the truck with me. We're out. You
Yeah.
know,
Yeah. Yeah.
gone. I'm not selling nothing. I'm not getting rid of nothing because the market's
Yeah.
not.
I don't. Yeah, I never understood that. Like when I see people saying, "Well, I'm moving, so I'm gonna sell myself," I was like, I moved my stuff to Texas with me, and then when I came back, I moved myself back with me to Arizona. Like I don't understand why you can't just move your stuff with you. I
It almost
never understood that.
it's almost
Like,
exciting,
yeah,
to think.
so it's like you weren't really passionate about this happy in the first place if you're doing some things
Facts. I mean, and it's a blessing too. Like again, the
like
odds
that.
side, good. You know, I mean, I hate to sound like a dick, but fuck it, I'll
Oh
be a
no,
dick. Go.
yeah, no,
You're just
peace be gone.
bullshit anyway. You know,
Yeah,
if you leaving that fast, you never had the passion to begin with. And if you don't got the passion, well, quite frankly, the hobby don't need you. We don't need what you're making. We don't need your bloodlines in the mix. It's
yeah.
see you.
You ever think like crested geckos are going to be at a point where it's going to be you're starting to mix like, almost like related stuff because they're not importing from New Caledonia, right?
That's happening now. Hell yeah, it's
Yeah,
happening.
that's why I'm trying to figure. Like people are like, oh well, I'm this lineage. Like eventually, y'all are mixing, just like with because I can't get fresh blood from Australia because that thing ain't open. So eventually that stuff's gonna start happening where you're gonna start looking at other ventures other than crested geckos or for me, sulfuras or any awesome reptiles. You gotta look at other things where you know you're gonna have constant stuff coming in. That's why I was like, sir, they always have wild caught ones coming in. So that import is still going. Bronies, those don't come in, but certain plenty. So that's one thing I want to start looking at. Like I said, I want to start looking into those.
You know the Europlatus? You know the Europlatus geckos, leaf-tail geckos?
Hmm.
They're
Yep.
from all right.
Yeah, Madagascar. Yeah.
I just noticed on Morph Market, man, it's like every Europlatus I see is says wild caught on it. Wild caught, wild caught, wild caught.
There's a lot of that stuff coming in wild caught.
They're just we think we talked about it last podcast too about Madagascar. Man, they're sucking Madagascar dry. Madagascar is
Yeah.
gonna be but it's gonna look like Easter Island by the time they're done. It's gonna be a dead ass tour.
Yeah.
Serious. You know, I'm not
Yep.
against taking things in when it benefits the current population, I guess. You know, like the pet trade. If you're bringing in a genetic diversity to strengthen, I'm all for it. But if you're just taking and taking and taking, it's kind of sad, man. It's kind of
Yeah.
really
Eh,
sad.
yeah. I know they got. Well, at least they used. To. I don't know if they still do, but I know have a kind of quota system where they don't let a certain amount in, or certain amount gets imported. At least I know they do it for like chameleons and stuff. When I was listening to a couple of these other podcasts, they do quotas and after that they stop import and export for that stuff.
X amount is a year or something. I mean, it's
Yeah.
for the animals. You know what I'm saying? I mean,
Oh yeah. Definitely.
that there's not that many. I didn't realize there wasn't that many in captivity already. You know, for to be bringing in as many as I've seen, like say I seen 20 or 30 wild caught Europlatus, how many can there really be in captivity if you're still bringing in
Yeah.
that? Because crested gecko wise, I mean, these
Yeah.
things,
I mean, they still bring in ball pythons, and there's 50,000 of those are listed on Morph Market, so
yeah,
they still import those.
you ain't lying. That's true. Very true.
Yeah. But I know there's a couple there. Oh, so there's a person out in Cali. She all she does is focus on Fantasticus, so she does a lot of import just to get fresh blood. So
Mm-hmm.
she's doing the right way, where she'll just import. She already knows the process, because her husband is Bill Strand, the Chameleon Academy guy.
Yeah, he's
So
cool.
he already knows. Yeah, they already know the process, how to do all that stuff. So what they're doing is right when it comes to importing and know quarantine and vet checks and then putting that new blood into what they got. Other people are just give me this, not gonna quarantine, I'm gonna mix it, and they should know you got some shady stuff going down.
Some of them guys are big with like conservation too, because there's the opposite side of the whole bringing as many in. I mean, eventually, I mean, you got to face the facts, man. The rainforest is getting chopped down. Madagascar is getting plowed down. There's going to come a time where there's not going to be many wild animals. So to have a
Now,
big genetically diverse population in captivity could potentially pay off huge someday when it comes to repopulating the wild. Like I know Josh's frogs, they do a lot of cool shit, man. They have some initiatives with some few different species of frogs and salamanders and amphibians and stuff from the rainforest that are damn near extinct in the wild. If there's a name for it, some type of extinct, but they're under a certain amount. So they do a crazy breeding project in captivity to breed these things for a reintroduction one day. I mean that's cool,
Uh-huh.
man. That's super cool, and genetic diversity really is important when it comes down to that too, because if we took these crested geckos and let them go in the wild, they probably want to dying off real quick, man.
Yeah,
That wild living. These things are
yeah,
fat.
yeah,
I mean, they're nothing like a wild crested gecko. I mean, and
yeah,
it's
yeah,
unconscious selective breeding. We sit here in the wild, and I pay attention again, like I said, watching these things grow up and raise and develop. These things will probably be breeding at 20 grams in the wild. They don't got nobody separating them, telling them you go to this bin, you go to that bin, and boom. When they are sexually mature in the wild, these things are breeding. Through my experience, these things are sexually mature around 20 grams ish. They could probably, females start laying duds around 30 grams. Males are ready to go around 20 grams. In the
yeah.
wild, they're inbreeding, you know?
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
with leopard geckos, they're breeding them like almost under a year.
See?
So yeah, and that was like my first experience too, because when I heard like, all right, so leopard geckos under like almost a year old or so, and but then you start hearing crested geckos, no, they need to be 3 years old. I'm like, what is going on? How do we know this? Who told y'all this? Where did y'all get this information from? Because why is it that this gecko over here is under a year? You're like 3 years. Lychees are like God knows what, like five, I don't know, 5 years or something like that. And then snakes are even longer. Like snakes are like, yeah, we wait like 6 years. I'm like, damn.
See, I watched a thing with Alan Rapace one time. It was, I think from like 2008 or 2011, that Exoterra Gecko Symposium. And Alan
Okay,
Rapace,
yeah,
and there was maybe some edits or something like that, but he was sitting there saying that he pairs his lychees as soon as they're sexable. As soon as they're sexable, he pairs them.
hmm,
Now you're talking about arguably the Godfather, right? This dude that's been there, collected them from the wild, brought them to the pet trade. Like he's
hmm,
literally one of the innovators and original people to do it. He's
yeah,
sitting there. I pair them as soon as they're old enough to sex them. I'll put them together. They will get along better, younger. They'll grow together and form a relationship. And over the last 10 years, information has changed so much. But yet he's
yeah,
still saying what he's saying, and somewhere along the lines, it became taboo to do. You got to wait till they're 5 years. It's just such a mixed match of information that it's
yeah,
again goes back to me. How can anybody tell anybody anything? Other than what they've experienced. What they've learned firsthand, hands on. It's almost comical.
yeah.
Just
Well, I guess like so, all right, with the state of the hobby, like I said, people need to just take a long look in the mirror, right? Just look at the mirror. What do you want to do? Don't grab every single fucking thing in the world. No, have a focus. Have a like just have an idea of what you want.
yeah, absolutely
Like,
an idea of your own, an idea of your
yeah,
own game plan. Don't do something because someone else is doing it, or you heard
yeah,
someone is gonna. This is what they want to do, so now you want to do it. I can't go but tell you how many times I go online and in all these gecko groups, and someone's sitting there saying, "Should I breed this with this? What do you think about this? Should I put this with this?" Like,
yeah.
when do people stop thinking for themselves? When do they stop thinking for themselves?
Good old internet.
It's
No,
crazy.
they follow and follow and follow instead of trying to read.
Exactly, exactly.
Uh,
That's where all these other species come into play. Like with all these other species that are out there. I mean, I go on check out all these websites all the time, like reptile websites, like reptile shop websites, just to,
yeah,
to look at species and stuff. Now I always wind up on underground reptiles, right? And a huge diversity of animals, man. Like you can click on geckos and scroll through geckos for hours and
yeah,
see
yeah.
species you've never seen before and stuff that people are not working with and they're cheap. They're not even expensive. It's like
Uh-huh. I mean, yeah, most of them are wild caught. So I mean, you got to start somewhere, right?
Absolutely, everything was at one point, right?
Yep.
I,
So you got to start off somewhere. Then once you get that going, then you got captive bred ones. Then they're
and I'm not
not as deep.
they are because there is guys like you got Wally from what's Wally's company's name?
Green gecko.
Green Gecko. He's awesome with all keeping it diverse. He's got all kinds of little cool little species of geckos, man. And
Yeah.
that sometimes because it's like I don't feel like they the hobby of the community's biting. When he's
Hmm.
showing how cool these other species of geckos are. He
Yeah.
knows how they are, but unfortunately, again, I think it's a popularity contest.
Yep.
It's who's selling what for the most, who's got the most, who's it's kind of sad, man. Again, I mean,
Yeah. Speaking of Wally, because he's been trying to promote that those Peridor pictures, and
yeah,
their reproductive is just like almost like the crest or not the crest the leopard geckos, really
geckos.
fast. Like they are like sexually mature within like 9 months
Hmm.
and like ready to go type of
So
thing. And like
the geckos, all kinds of knobtail species. I mean,
yeah,
they're awesome species of geckos, man. You know,
yeah, yeah, some great stuff. Like I like his
leopard
conjure back. And
how big leopard geckos were. I never got into leopard geckos, but just through this little path, dealing with smaller reptiles now, I've seen how many there actually are and how many people keep them. Now I get why. I understand that they're cool. It's easy for kids. It's a great beginner
yeah,
reptile
yeah, they're hella chill.
from them. But again, there's so many other species that it's almost a damn shame that people keep breeding these things and they arguably become worth nothing. I look at some of these things and I'm like, damn, that thing looks like it'd be like $1,000 animal, like the color of my shirt, like crazy looking thing.
Yeah,
Dollars, $45, $50. Like, damn,
yeah,
you just
yeah.
took a little
That's just
more.
mass producing right there. That's why.
Yeah, they really are.
Yeah,
I mean, arguably, probably more so than the new cow stuff, man. I mean, it's
yeah, because I mean they've been out longer than the new
long, a lot longer. When I was a
yeah,
kid, I mean, you're talking the 80s. I mean, leopard geckos were around then. Leopard geckos, fat tail geckos. That's just they were there, and again, I didn't think nothing of them, but they've been around a lot longer. I didn't know what a crested gecko was. I didn't know what a leachianus was. I didn't know what a chihuahua was back in the 80s.
I don't think anybody did shit. Because I
True.
mean, what was it, 90s when they kind of found them, or when they went over there?
Crested geckos. I mean, I guess they were bringing
Yeah,
in gargoyle geckos and stuff in the
yeah,
70s, but I mean, they were probably big money, hard to get reptiles back then, still like a little niche species and stuff.
yeah.
What I wanted to ask you too is I don't know where I was online somewhere, but they were talking about Chihuahua geckos, but like non-locale specific being a thing now. It's like,
Really? Oh, so
yeah,
they trying to mix Maylands and
yeah,
PIs?
they're just breeding to
Nah, no, I'm not gonna play that shit. I'm not. Don't even.
that's news to
Yeah,
me.
yeah.
But
I saw. Yeah, I actually seen someone trying to sell was it a Jalu? So, because I know with Chihuahuas, there's like three localities. There's mainlands. They call them mainlands or GTs. You got your Pine Islands, and then now you have the Jalus, which I don't think Jalus are really represented in the U.S. They're more of European.
I tried to find a lot of information. I tried as hard as I could to find out as much information about them as I could, and I literally just wound up in a wall every time, man. I wind up getting some information. I'm trying to think of who it was from, but it might have been Mike from Chihuahua Chamber, and it might have been Andrew Gilpin. I don't know who I was talking to, but it pretty much boiled down to a pore count. The Jalus are
Hmm.
supposed to have one row of pores. Uh, Mainlands will have like two rows or 20 something amount of pores. It's all a pore game, like pore numbers and whatnot. But
Hmm.
that's really all I could find. I couldn't find any real information on what they were. See, because this is my thing, right? Now I'm gonna go off on a tangent on this one. when I first got into the Chihuahuas, people were explaining to me all the differences between mainlands, and at that time I didn't know anything about the Jalus, but it was mainlands and Pine
Yeah,
Islands.
yeah.
So I'm asking the differences. I really my first Chihuahua I bought was a mainland badass. I still obviously still got him. Vader, he's my dude. Love him, badass. But I started asking people, what are the differences? Why are they, different locales and not a different species, right? Because some people are telling me a Pine Island will lose its tail and could grow it back. A mainland or won't grow it back. A mainland will lose its tail and could grow it back. So right
That's what
there,
I
I'm
heard too.
how do two animals of the same species not do the same thing? Like to me, it's just not registering, right? Like I read all
Yeah,
Darwin's
yeah.
book, the theory of evolution. I've read all these crazy things about, so much more than Darwin stuff. And I got common sense. I got common sense, and I got a shitload of logic. If something does something, and I got two dogs, right? Say two dogs, they look the same, they sound the same, but one's got a pouch and feeds its young like a marsupial, and the other one lays litters of puppies and feeds its pups like a mammal does. How the hell are you gonna tell me it's the same damn species? It's not the same species, right? So to make a long story short and short story shorter, I really got nowhere. I got nowhere with my theory. I got a whole bunch of people saying, well, if I got mainlands that grow their tail back, I got PIs that grow their tail back. Oh, there ain't no pure locales anymore. They're all mixed, and they've been cross mixed so much with the Troger line and the this line that nobody knows anything. And again, my point is it's just a whole bunch of nothing. Nobody can tell me anything for sure, right? All I know is what I observe. I
Yeah.
have, I believe, mainlands, and I have Pine Islands. They're very different looking geckos. There's no ands and buts about it. They have their similarities, no doubt. They act the same. They have similar personalities, but they're extremely different. My mainlands hide all day. They hide all day. I never see them basking in the UVB, and I'm not saying they don't, but in my collection, my mainlands don't bask in the UVB. My Pine Islands, every one of them is out in the UVB all day. The eyes on my mainland twice the size as they are on my Pine Island. Heads are shorter, tails are shorter
Yeah.
and fatter. They're always darker. I mean, it's again, it's just my collection, but that's all I got to observe, right? So, and I'm not trying to make either of them drop their tails to read, but I mean, it's just there's a lot of information that's just unknown. There's a lot of stuff out there that's unknown about these things that's super intriguing to me. It's super
Oh,
super.
yeah, yeah.
And I'd love to learn as much as possible. And I've asked people, and I've asked some of the best of the best. The best in the hobby, the people that have the biggest collections, and still I get no straight answers. No straight answers on what a
Yeah.
Jalu
I
or what
I don't
a.
think you're ever going to get a straight answer until someone actually goes over there and researches them. And good luck on that one because the tribes over there don't like us. They don't want us over there. So, so
So I
it's gonna be a while before we get that yes.
so I hear.
So,
Have you seen like any mainlands from the UK? Mainlands in the
no,
UK look like Pine Islands. I've looked at like breeders from the UK that have, they're I guess they're like Troger line or something, or Tremper line or Troger line, Tremper line. One of these damn the same leopard gecko species in the UK that are literally look just like a Pine Island, white collar, pink hues in them. I mean, it's longer snouts, and they're sitting there saying it's a mainland. And I'm like, damn, now I'm really confused. Now I'm super
yeah,
confused.
yeah, that's just bad information getting crossed back and forth.
I came to the conclusion that really so few of them came in, And from what I gather, there's like 3 or 4 big collections and little populations via these guys' collections that they bred, they probably crossbred
Didn't
mainline
even
island,
know.
not even knowing it. And those lines, whatever the ones they have over there in the UK or whatever, have been isolated away from this US population for so long that they've started to look like their own thing too. It's like I said, like Darwin's book with the evolution, the theory of evolution in the finches. The same species of bird got separated from the mainland species of bird, and due to its smaller population on this island and small environmental factors, they've almost turned into a new bird. So it's I guess I could see what's happening better than I can explain it. And it's
Yeah.
nonetheless interesting. It's still interesting. It's just I feel that we may be at a point of no return.
Mhm.
It's it is what it is. I guess. I don't care across them. I love the look of my mainlands. These short little bulldog faces, these big ass eyes, these real muscular tails. They're always. I mean, in my collection, at least mine are all like. And I got some babies growing up that are green, but my first few that I bought are always they turned out dark, super super dark with almost
Yeah.
golden eyes. They're a very different gecko than my Pine Island Chihuahuas, man. There's no ands or buts about it. They are a very different gecko. But
Yeah.
I like those differences. Now whatever whoever bred them and led up to what we have now, again, I'm not so sure we'll ever really know, but it sure would be nice to know. It'd be nice to wind up in New Caledonia myself to just see for myself.
Yeah. I feel you.
But
So what kind of projects you got coming up, or what's something that you want to get into?
I want to get into everything. You know,
Well, what can you? No. All right. Well, let's put it like this. What will your partner let you get into?
and probably nothing more than what I got. It's hard. She plays stupid, but she's not. She knows what I got. She knows the species I got. I mean, not
Yeah.
for nothing. I'm 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 intrigued by everything. So I really want to learn about everything. I mean, usually I'm a hands-on guy. I'd like to have what I'm learning about, but I got a lot here that I haven't got to breed yet.
Mhm.
I'm super adamant about learning everything I can about a species. So and I'm not judging anybody, but I have never bought an adult reptile. I
Mhm.
don't buy adult reptiles. Everything I've ever bought has been as young as I could possibly get it. And my
Mhm.
thing is that I want to learn not just that individual animal, but I want to learn the species. I want to learn what their habits, their what they prefer, what's just everything about them. And I can't really do that by having something when it's an adult. These they do
Oh
change.
yeah.
Preferences and habits and whatnot. They certainly do, but I'll never know any. It's like a I guess it's like a dog, man. If you went and bought a puppy, right, versus going out and adopting a 5-year-old dog, it's
Yeah.
just a
That
little
dog already has habits.
different.
Yeah.
You know
Yeah.
every
That's cool.
dog makes is when you get him from a puppy. You know every facial expression. You know when something's on, when something's off, just by body language. And that's how I am with my reptiles. I get them young. Like I said before, I'm super nosy. I'm in all these guys' shit like they're my kids. And when something's off, right? If I didn't have him from a baby and I just had an adult, how do I know that's just not who the gecko is? I mean, that's just who he is. I know these
Yeah.
things from the egg. I know what these things are doing, how they're acting, and they're not all the same. They're not all spazzes. They're not all super calm. They're not. They're all very different. And
Yeah, so they all got the different personalities.
yeah,
Yeah.
man. A lot of stuff that I'm still raising. I got a rack of lychees that are just coming up on 2 years old. I'm super stoked to pair them. I got a whole shitload of 27, 28 Chihuahuas that have never been paired, you know, that I've raised from babies myself, from 2 months old. Every single one of them. Some are 2 years old, 3 years old, coming up on 3 years old. Some are 8, 9 months old.
Yeah.
But I'm still trying to figure out what and how I'm going to go about all that. So I mean, I'm super excited
You gonna
for
need some room, man.
who, let alone the 2 years after them getting to pair up some of these, these GTs, these Lichis I got up here. Badass. These are, and I got these things like this big, man. These jokers are like this big now, man. Like,
Yeah, that's fucking man.
yeah, one of them, my male's gauge is like almost 300 grams. I put him on a scale. He was like 280 something, and he's 18 months
Okay.
old. 18 months old, two something. You know, he's a big boy. You know, and another learning experience, right? Like, see, people. I was think maybe I was talking about the last podcast, but I watched the podcast, and these kids were talking about just all these, for argument's sake, stereotypes about certain species of geckos, man. And I'm like sitting there, like, damn, what am I missing? What am I missing? Because I got them, all of them, and I've never experienced anything that you, who has none, is telling everybody about. Like, what
What
are
were
you,
they saying?
huh?
What were they saying?
Not just how, lychees do nothing but shit on the glass. Lychees are
No.
super. Lychees, uh, you can't do this with them. You can't. They won't eat bugs. They only eat this flavor. They need this. They need that. They don't need a thing other than a bigger cage than anything from New Caledonia. They don't do a thing, anything that any other gecko from New Caledonia doesn't do. To be quite frank with you, my chewies shit more on the glass than my lychees do. The lychees water bowl, they definitely do that. They shit in a water bowl like it's a toilet, but they
Terror.
not one of them is barked at me. Not one of them. They make noises. They definitely are vocal. Super cool though. They grunt and
Yeah.
they'll huff and they'll puff and but again, I've had them from babies and I know what it means. It's not aggression. They're not being aggressive at all. They're just communicating. They're talking, man. They're hearing other geckos. They see other geckos. Their vision is something like 200 times better than humans. They're super inquisitive animals, man. And people get scared of that, I guess, because it's everything I hear about them is arguably lies. Like they're not these
Well,
crazy the cage and attack you geckos. Now again, maybe things will change when they become breeding age and I start pairing them and they're paired. I am talking about individually housed geckos.
yeah.
I don't with pairs. They're not breeding.
Yeah.
So
That's how my chewies were. Like, say, like when I had them, they were separated. Not one tried to bite me. So when I had my first pair put together, and then probably after they laid maybe like their third clutch, my man, they were coming at me with a vengeance.
makes sense. See, but that makes
Yeah,
sense.
I mean, but
That
they're
makes
that for me that just means they're comfortable, they like where they stay at, and they're defending it off. That's all that meant to me. So I was
you
like,
have
all right, cool.
you have the right to say that. You saying that is teaching people because you've done it out of experience, right? Like that's something that people should have the opportunity to learn. They shouldn't be scared out of keeping something because somebody that doesn't keep them said that they do something. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? Like you just taught
And
me
then
something.
and then also I think it's because so I got them in black PVC too. So it's dark in there. So when I had them in the bin, they I don't know if they just didn't feel as comfortable. When I had them in glass, they weren't like that either. But once I got them in black PVC, where everything's solid except for the glass right in front, after that they just kind of went like not crazy. They just like, nah, this is my spot. Leave us alone. Get out of here. So, but my other set, my other pair,
Look at the
nah,
mainland. That's a mainland.
I just heard a thump.
That's my homie Vader.
Yeah. Oh yeah. Big old eyes. Yeah. Yeah. I can see his big eyes, short snout.
Short little stubby tail. He's just gonna chill. He'll just chill. He'd sit here all day.
I ain't trying to do that shit with mine. Well, no, I don't know. They like to go. Mine like to go up. But what was I gonna say? So no, you're not gonna try to dip into anything new. Just keep on working with what you got right now.
I want to, but I'm a weirdo. I gotta learn first, you know. Until I
Yeah.
learn about something, I can't just get it. I gotta
Yeah, yeah,
what I'm in for before I really get the hands on, you
yeah.
know.
Yeah, I
So
feel you.
I'm still.
Like I got this right here. This is my binder of all my information.
Oh wow,
So before I made my purchases, this is what I did. Like I
yeah.
got this, made this,
Oh,
and I just stuck it in.
that's awesome, dude. I gotta get one of them, man. That's beautiful.
Yeah. So for every species that I'm semi interested in, I put it in here. So if I do get it, I'm ready. I'm good to go. I've already asked my questions.
I told you I'm super curious in these gold tail Stropharis.
Yeah, the Stropharis tenacata.
I fell in love with them, dude. I don't know
Yeah.
what about them. So I gotta be honest. I want a new species. I want a new species, and I've been talking about getting a new species. I just don't know which one. So I'm either up in the air between Europlatus, the Sakura, whatever they call them.
Hmm.
The, the I don't know, the ones I was saying, or they see on the wild caught ones.
Yeah, yeah.
Or I like the Stropharis, man, the gold tail ones, man. Those things are they're just cool, man. I was watching videos of them in the wild, and like I said earlier, when I was a kid, I got into these things because I love nature, man. I love being outdoors. I just love the wild, right? And even with all these things, I mean, really what got me into them was being able to build these little rainforests, build little rainforests and, taking native plants, not all of them, but, building these little jungles. And the animal was just one part of the whole thing. So when I see
Yeah.
an animal that's from a really cool part of the world that I like, I got a tendency to lean towards that animal because I like where it's from too.
Hmm.
You know what I'm saying? It's like there's some cool animals that come from places of the globe I just don't like, and not knocking them, but it's like keeping really like North American species. There's some cool ones, but I'm from here, man. That shit's in my backyard. If I wanted any of these reptiles, I just go not keeping an American bullfrog. I'm not keeping garter snakes. I'm not keeping anything I can go find outside. I mean, what's the point? I want to take the dream destination and bring it to me. And
Yeah.
it's
And that's like that with everybody, even for people that are across the world. They think the same thing about our stuff. Like
yeah,
they go, like there's people in Europe that go crazy over Polyonyx. And those are little banded geckos that look like leopard geckos. You
yeah,
know, no,
yeah.
everybody likes what they don't have. And that's what
Mm.
it is. So
I mean, there's some species. I mean, if I could get my hands on some beta lizards or something like that, something like that, or a eastern indigo snake or something like that, they're cool. But I mean, for the most part, it's like animals from places that I can't go that I would love. And the Australian stuff, man. I mean, that I guess the Stropharis, man. I look at them on what was I watching? This thing was on a stick, like a snake was trying to eat it. This thing threw its tail over and just sprayed this shit
yeah,
on.
afraid to see that. Yeah,
I have one.
I
Got
know that. I know that little clip art right there too. Yeah, there's a couple people out here that does that. Actually, there's a guy that lives in my state that because I was riding out with him in Finland. He has a pair, so he's waiting trying to get eggs from them. Who else got? Like I said, Ghouls-N-Geckos, they have them. Greenacre Exotics, I know she has them. Yeah,
that
Riley's Reptile.
me what's popular, what's not. I could care less
Yeah,
what it
it's
is
just
for.
hard. It's hard to find them. And then yeah, it's just a little difficult to find them. That's all it is. But if you know the right people, you're good.
That makes it that much more interesting. See,
Yeah,
being that I couldn't, you can't just get them. I prefer that over the Sequoias, man. I mean, not for nothing, but I could get them a dime a dozen. I was actually blown away and almost disappointed when I seen how cheap they were. I
yeah.
seen them up to
Wild caughts are cheap, but like if you, huh?
I'm saying, I'm looking at him like, damn, that thing's super cool. It's only $200. It was so cheap. I almost didn't want it.
Yeah, yeah. You just got yeah. It's $200 up front, but then those vet bills gonna hit you. That's all
Exactly.
it is.
Not,
Yeah,
I've
vet
never.
bills gonna hit you. Like you gotta clear all those parasites out.
I don't want to. I really don't want
Yeah,
to. I've had some like frogs and stuff. When I was keeping a bunch of frogs, had like calcium issues and vitamin A deficiencies and weird stuff, and it was a learning experience too. And I took care of it, but I could care less to deal with stuff like that again, man. It's just
yeah,
I mean, unless there was like some type of real benefit for the hobby, like I said, unless I'm doing something that's gonna help repopulate a population in the wild or something like that, someone else
yeah.
could
That's a whole nother level right there.
someone else could do it.
Yeah. Maybe later on in life I'll get to that.
What are you doing for what do you projects? What do you want? What do you want to get? What do you want to get?
Oh man,
I
what
mean, I know you
is
say
what? No, like I
damn
said, I want to start messing with some 30 Daffodils, um, some Conjured as well. Like I said, Wally, he actually conjured that. Well, he and Gulliver, and there's this other one. I can't remember the name of them, but
you have right now. How many species of
what?
geckos?
I got Chauffeuris ciliaris, Chauffeuris, uh, what is it? Intermedius, Nebula robusta, Saracenoides, Chihuahuas, and I got three fucking crescent geckos.
Paras?
Yeah,
For real?
yeah. Well, I got one because I wanted to see how it was.
Love them. Love them.
Yeah, and they remind me of Chihuahuas,
Love them. Dude,
and
I have
they get really fat. That's what
I
I'm
have
noticing.
badass, badass Sarah. And I got it from Boris over at BB's. And I had one. I got her as a hatchling. I named her Domino. She had six perfect spots running down her back, perfect white spots with black out rings. I mean, he didn't even sell her. I told him that I was gonna because I was worried about. I had brought a couple baby Chihuahuas. One wound up being they were supposed to both be females. One wound up being a male. So I was tripping out about it. Like, dude, I have very specific plans. I have to keep a very specific amount of numbers, for my future plans and what I plan on doing, or I'm gonna be all screwed up here, man. What do you got for females over there? Um, Selling this Sarah, man, forget it, blah, blah, blah. He was like, you cannot sell her. I'll give you two girls for her. I said, say no more, man. So I wound up trading him the Sarah Domino, which I wound up raising until she was like 20 grams, man. She was the coolest, most chill, calm Sarah that I've ever seen or heard about, man. And people will just talk a bunch of crap about them too. And I think they're an incredible species of gecko, man. They are big mistake getting rid of that girl, man. Big mistake. If I knew now what I knew then, I would have grabbed another Sarah instead of getting another Chihuahua, in all honesty.
Yeah, I'm gonna end
Uh,
up getting another one. I'm gonna wait to figure out what the sex is with this one.
they're they're
But
they're
yeah, I've
special.
already noticed she put on some or whatever it puts on weight fast.
They grow
Yeah,
quicker.
and
Well,
like
shit, man. Chihuahuas. I have yet to see a gecko grow as fast as Chihuahua, man. I don't know what it is, but they'll go from 5 grams to 15 grams in like a month and a half, 2 months. My shits go from boom to boom. Like,
yeah, that's what happened with mine. But I mean, if you're feeding the bugs, yeah, it's gonna happen, and you keep them warm too, so that's gonna happen. They're gonna keep growing because they're gonna want to keep eating because the metabolism is spiking up. But yeah, like yeah, that's Sarah, man. Like I got her, and she was like this big. I mean, now she's probably like that long, but she's getting thick. I'm
they
like,
do.
dang,
They get nice, like all the way through thickness, even thicker
yeah,
than. I mean, I got some big Chihuahuas, man. Like I said, 80, 60, 80 gram Chihuahuas and stuff. And I didn't have her till she got that big, but they're thick everywhere. They get a nice thick tail, thick limbs, thick
yeah,
neck. They just thick, man. They're a
yeah,
species of gecko, man. that I would definitely be getting back into Cerasnorums without a doubt. I will absolutely get back into them for sure. You
Yeah,
know,
yeah. So
it up and see what I plan on working with Chihuahuas because I got some crazy stuff and I don't know what to pair with what. I really don't. I figured out crested geckos and not for nothing. Again, I didn't get crested geckos or get into crested geckos to sell or for any specific morph. I got into them because of my love of genetics. I wanted to, you know, play God, if you will, man. I wanted to make. I wanted to take this and see if I could make this and and it's easier to do when you got a lot of things to work with, a lot of different traits. So
yeah,
I kind of wind up falling into them. I mean, I've not tried to sell a gecko. I've bred hundreds. I haven't yet tried to market anything. I mean, once in a blue moon, but selling them is the least of my concerns right now, man. It's a
yeah,
it's time
so,
for me to get Chihuahuas, man. And once these
yeah.
Chihuahuas freedom, then I'm gonna see where I'm at, and I'll probably trade or sell whatever I don't wind up using and pairing and breeding, and you know, there's a lot of unknown, man, and I'm game to learn. I'm excited for the future, but I just don't know. I don't know if they work like crested geckos. I mean, I got geckos, chewies with pink collars. Got chewies, no bullshit, pink collars, red
Oh yeah,
collars,
ooh.
collars. And then I got your white collars and all that crap. Like, what do they do with each other? What actually makes what? I've seen geckos with damn near white backs come out of
I've seen those.
collar. So I get where the lineage matters in that, but I just don't know, man. So it's gonna be a learning curve for sure. For sure, there's definitely
Yeah.
gonna be a curve involved, but one that I'm super excited to experiment with, man. I hate to use the term because they're living animals, but that's all of this is an
That's what we're
experiment.
doing. We're experimenting to hopefully, like, well, for people that want to like trying to get certain things, that's what they're doing. Especially like ball pythons, it's nothing but an experimentation. Right? You're hoping that you do your little plant for right, and you're getting these genes. That's all you're doing.
Man. It really is because, and I'm not knocking anybody. There's no way that someone's not going to take this as me knocking them, but I ain't trying to do shit that anyone else is doing. I'm not trying to do anything that anyone's doing. I'm trying to do what I'm doing. I'm trying to do what I'm
Yeah,
doing. I want to make what I want to make. Do I like some things that other people have? Absolutely. Absolutely. I like looking at something and saying that would probably be really cool with making that and help me get to that. And, you know, everybody's breeding these, Dalmatians. Not that everybody's breeding them in Dalmatians because Dalmatians are cool and I love them. But everybody's so dead set on doing it one way. Why isn't anybody experimenting with anything else? Why ain't there a black gecko with white spots? Why ain't there, you know, black geckos with red spots? Why ain't there, why is there not all of these other things out there? Now, I guess some of them to some people may seem impossible, right? But a lot of people just don't try because they listen to other people say it's impossible. You know,
yeah.
I
And
don't
they're just following. They're following the market.
out swinging. You know, I honestly rather strike out swinging than just standing at the plate, man. Like, I got to take a chance, man, and see what I can do different. You know, I'm
Hell yeah.
a follower, man, and I mean, again, I'm not knocking nobody, because when people follow other people, occasionally they one up the next man and they make something better, you know, but not always. Sometimes you just wind up with a whole bunch of people with the same shit, and it's
Yeah.
then
Yeah.
what? Back to where
Yeah.
we started. Past
You
that,
got a bunch
everyone
of
doing the same.
exactly. Yeah. You got a bunch of the same looking stuff. That's all it is. Uh,
But
so I mean, so pod goals, right? It's just putting on people that ain't been put on. That's my thing right there. Like all these people that don't get on these podcasts because they don't roll with certain people. You know, we we ain't about that. We want to hear what you got. We want to hear, what you're passionate about. What gets you going in the morning. You know, came
Absolutely.
on, you know,
Hand in hand with the species too, though. A lot of these guys don't, especially the guys that we want to talk to, don't get on podcasts because some of these podcasts are so breed specific. You got your gargoyle podcast, you got your crested gecko podcast. We are an all gecko species podcast. I
yeah,
prefer you to come on with something that nobody has. I prefer you to come with species that nobody knows anything about.
yeah,
Honestly, I'd love to
yeah,
have on and talk about his pictus. I would love to have, Herman from Herp Time come on and talk about all these mini geckos. Frank Payne come on and talk about all his little species of day geckos. All these things that would and could and will be popular once they get exposure is what we want.
yeah,
Goal and our objective is to highlight and spotlight the unpopular, I guess, right? Like
yeah.
it's hard to want to say without offending people, because these people out there are going
It is what it is, right?
to do a podcast, right? There's really no lychee podcast. Like there's no one out there talking about all these other things because what? What? Because they're not popular or the cool kids aren't talking about them? The cool kids are talking about crested geckos or gargoyle geckos or leopard geckos or ball pythons. I mean, shit. There's so many other species. Come on here, read these people the riot act, and tell us what you know. We don't
Right,
hear what
right.
you. I don't want to hear. I don't definitely don't want to hear what somebody told you or what somebody told you. Somebody told you. Somebody told you. I want to know what you learned keeping what you got.
Yeah.
And a lot of people do too. I'm not the only one out here. I'm just the only one rude enough to say it. People absolutely want to hear about all these people. I talked to a kid the other day, and he said something, a beautiful gecko, and I knew nothing about a Japanese cave gecko. And I'm asking about him, like, cool, man. Like, what is that? Thing's beautiful. I don't see a lot of them. I see them around, but I don't see a lot. Or maybe it wasn't a Japanese. It was a Vietnamese cave gecko. It looked like a Japanese cave gecko, but a Vietnamese. It was like
Okay.
it had a different hue to it. It was just different, right? So I thought that it
Okay.
was something of a Japanese cave gecko. So I'm learning from this kid, and he goes, man, yeah, I've been working with him for like 5, 6 years, and I'm just a small fish in a big pond, man. I'm like, dog, it's the small fish that makes up the big school that populates the big river, my man. Like, I got a podcast. I need you to come on and teach some people about these, man. Tell some people about what you're doing. And he's like, I'm not. He literally says to me, I don't think that I'm popular enough to do that, man.
Well,
You'd
we
be
get my popular.
the first on the show, man. Popular, popular. This isn't middle school. This isn't high school. We're a bunch of
Yes,
grown ass
sir.
here keeping reptiles. None of
Yep.
us are the highlight. None of us. No face you see on here. None of us mean nothing. It's the animals. It's the animals and species that we're keeping. The faces are just behind the brains that are intended to learn what someone's got to say and teach us, man. It's all about the species. The more education we have on the species, the more people know about different species, the more people will come to the hobby. And ultimately, I really feel that we should all have at least that in common. We should want the hobby to grow as a whole. We should want more people to look at reptiles as the norm and not the taboo. You know, people
Yeah.
should not be scared to say, "Oh, I'm not going to this one's house. He's the lizard guy, or that's the snake girl, or the whoever," because they got all these animals. I mean, it should be something that's intriguing. People should want to learn like we were kids again, when everything you seen was exciting. Everything was a learning lesson. It's the popularity contest stuff is old, man. It's old, it's outdated. It's really just it's a thing of the past, man. I mean, we want to make this channel about the animals. So again, if you got something that you can bring to the table, or and I genuinely mean this, man. Nobody cares how many followers you have. Nobody cares how many geckos you've sold, how much your geckos are worth. Nobody gives a shit about that. What we care about is what you can teach another human being. It's all
Yeah.
about
It's
not
all about that. Yeah, it's all
animal,
about that information. You know,
you know.
have that
Ultimately,
information, we can take care of it.
yeah, absolutely, absolutely. Because then you just wind up with impulse buyers anyway. Someone's gonna see
Yeah.
something cool in the store and they're gonna buy it and don't know a damn thing about it. And I mean, it's the 80s all over again in that case, you know, because literally in the 80s, I got my first Cayman at a flea market, man, from out of a foam cooler. I'm dead in New York,
Oh,
Port New York, in the flea market with my grandfather. And there was a little booth down there, a little reptile booth. They sold parakeets, hamsters, all types of stuff. And I always wanted, you know, my grandparents had a place in Florida, and I always wanted to catch an alligator, which, shit, that's for a whole other podcast, because boy, did I want to catch me some alligator. But as a kid, I always wanted one. So we're in the flea market one day, and my grandfather made me a deal or something, you know, do some work around the house or do something, something, something. I'm probably like 8 years old, 7, 8 years old, something like that, maybe. And I wanted to go into the flea market. My grandmother, she used to go down there and buy all these aluminum tin things to bake in, you know, like I come from
yeah.
a lot of cooking and stuff like that. So she'd go down there to buy all her tin stuff. And my grandfather would take me to go and look around. We go to the Army Navy booth and the little pet booth. And one day I'm down there, and this guy had, you know, 3 or 4 little dwarf caimans in a foam cooler, and they were $120. They were $120. My grandfather bargained it down for $100, man, $100. And I didn't know a fucking thing about it, man. I didn't know anything about it. I brought it home. You know what I did? I put it in a foam cooler. I put it in a foam cooler because that's what this dude. I, so as the time goes by, he was growing, and I was big into obviously books, but there was nothing else, no other way to learn but books. And I got as many books as I could about all the crocodilian species as possible, and you know, figured out what I had. And I'm talking about, dude, I was under 10 years old, man, and I figured
Yeah.
out where it came from, what they ate in the wild, and I did all this. You know, I did all this for this gator, man. I wound up keeping him in a, you know, a little kiddie swimming pool, those little blue kiddie swimming pools.
Yeah.
But I would go fishing, and really in the summertime and stuff. And I'd go fishing and I'd catch fish and I'd bring them home and I'd feed them to them. I was using glass fish tank heaters to heat the swimming pool. Uh, I mean, just, I mean, and that was really should not have done that. You know what I'm saying? That's really a irresponsible, man. It was
But you're
super.
what it is.
But again, it was the 80s, and
People
who the
still
hell,
do that now. So it is people.
no one knew
You
no
go
better.
to yeah, you go to like the PA to what some shitty ass show up there. But man, them motherfuckers they sell that same shit.
Really?
Work cases, they sell hots, like hots in like they like all these little holes in there, so like, your pages going through it and shit. And they don't give a fuck. It's
And
crazy.
that's not too
Yeah,
far.
yeah, yeah.
Ideas, man.
I've heard crazy stories about that. It was crazy out there with the reptile show.
What are those blue vipers? You know the Solaris vipers?
Oh,
Yeah, so bad, man. So bad. My boss was in Costa Rica, but he's always in Costa Rica. But I think like last year, or the year before, he sent me a video of one in a tree, man. And
oh,
it took me about 2 hours to find this damn thing in this picture. It's dude. I mean, I've wanted one since I was a kid, but man,
yeah,
them things are so damn cool. Like, how could you not want one? You know, it's
yeah.
just super responsible, but it's super illegal in my state,
I'm,
I'm sure.
I'm going to actually going.
Oh yeah,
They got,
that's awesome. If they got it, I never looked into it, man. I'd be lying. I'd be sitting here lying to your face if I said I did. I never even looked into
You
it.
might as well. I think they got one and they do it kind of track. Mine does. I don't think so. Well, we got it. And love it out. Pick them up, in the tub, relocate, anything like that. So I'm gonna get my hours. See if I get my 5 hours.
That's awesome. That's really cool.
It's just something to put in that book, Jack of all trades. That's what I'm trying to do.
That's awesome. That really
Yeah.
is, man. That's a cool thing to do, man. You could definitely do like snake removal and poisonous. That'd be a cool thing to have, man. Huh.
Yeah. Yep. Well, we coming to the end, man. We've been on about 70 minutes.
Oh, really? Shit.
Yeah. Yeah, time flew on this one.
Hey,
We
all
were
right.
like, oh, yeah, this is gonna be shorter. No, this is gonna be longer.
And just imagine, man, if we really get some people on here that will,
Yeah, it'll be
talk about
yeah,
species and
probably that
each
hour and a
other.
half of that thing. Yeah.
I got a lot more room to listen and absorb knowledge than I do to talk. That's for sure, man. All I know is what I deal with, man. And I make it a point to learn it like the back of my hand. But there's so much more out there that I've never been exposed to that, man, I'm really dying to learn about, man.
Oh yeah,
And
for sure.
I know I'm not the only one, man. I know there's literally thousands of people that just feel like they don't fit the popular kid mold, man, and they're just too scared to talk about stuff and too
Yeah,
scared.
I think it's more of they're too scared to put out that information that they have, because they're gonna, because
Judge.
someone's gonna say, "Oh no, you're wrong." You know what? It is what it is. They do it because this is where they live. This is the parameters they can do for this animal in the climate. Like you live in the Midwest, winter, you got no humidity. It's gets sucked up because you got the heater on. Or for me, no, I live in the desert. Damn, you got humidity here. So find different ways. We all find different ways. Not every there's like you said, there's not one single way to do it right. You just gotta go to wherever you're at. You gotta kind of figure that out. And talking to people in all these different states, you're going to figure that out. And that's what I want. That's what I want to learn is like, how do you do yours? How do you set your parameters up to make sure that reptile's successful?
Absolutely.
Yeah. All right, we knocked another one out the books.
All
Two
right.
down, no bunch more to go.
Hell yeah.
All
Years
right,
to
for sure. I'm gonna turn this recorder off.